Hi there, and welcome to the Climate Accord Time Mission. I'm Hao Jiechen, and I will be your guide as we jump across time to explore how the world has tried again and again to come together and protect the environment. We'll visit some big moments, make some powerful agreements, and ask one simple question: are we doing enough? Let's begin our time journey. Stop 1. We start in Stockholm, Sweden, in the year 1972. This is the first major United Nations conference focused on the human environment. Leaders from around the world come together to talk about pollution, nature, and the future of our planet. But there's a divide. Rich countries want strong environmental rules. Poorer countries are worried. They fear that these rules will slow down their economic growth. In the end, they agree on a non-binding declaration. It says the environment matters. But so does development. There are no strict targets, just promises. Still, this conference is a turning point. It puts the environment on the global agenda for the first time. It also creates the United Nations Environment Program, or UNEP. It's a small step, but a meaningful one. Stop 2. Now we jump ahead 20 years to the Earth Summit in Rio. This is the largest environmental conference the world has ever seen. Over 100 heads of the state attend. Thousands of activities and non-government organizations join in. The world is watching. And Rio delivers. This summit gives birth to 3 important outcomes. The first one is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The second one is the Convention on Biological Diversity. And the last one is Agenda 21, a global action plan for sustainable development. This is where the idea of sustainable development becomes popular. It means protecting the environment while also improving people's life. For the first time, countries agree that these 2 goals must go hand in hand. But again, and this is a pattern, most of the promises made in Rio are not legally binding. There are no punishment if countries don't meet their goals. So, while Rio is full of hope and big ideas, the real change depends on what happens next. Stop 3. Let's fast forward to the year 2015. We land in Paris, at a time when the world is finally feeling the heat, literally. There are record-breaking temperatures, extreme weather, and rising sea levels. Climate change is no longer a future threat. It's already here. That's why the Paris Agreement feels so important. For the first time, almost every country in the world, 196 in total, signs a global climate deal. The goal? To keep global warming well below 2 degrees and try to limit it 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. Each country makes its own plan. These are called National Determined Contributions, or NDCs. Countries choose what action to take and how much they want to reduce their emissions. But here's the catch. These targets are voluntary. There are no legal penalties if a country doesn't follow through. There's also no global body that checks their progress. So, Paris gives us a shared goal and a lot of hope. But it also leaves a big question. Who will make sure we actually do it? Stop 4. Now we are back in the present. It's 2025. Donald Trump has returned as President of the United States. And once again, US climate policy takes a sharp turn. Trump withdraws from the Paris agreements. He rolls back green energy policies and cuts support for clean cars and renewable power. He even announces an energy emergency that puts fossil fuel production above environmental protection. One example, the Endangered Species Act no longer blocks oil drilling. For many people, this feels like we are moving backward, and government signs a climate deal. The next one cancels it. There's no stability, no long-term commitments. But at the same time, something else is happening. Civil society is getting louder. Youth activities, environmental groups, and even companies are stepping up where governance falls short. Maybe this is the moment of change, not just in politics, but in power. Next is the final stop, the future. So, where do we go from here? 50 years of climate talks have taught us one thing. Good intentions are not enough. The world has signed treaties, declared goals, held summits, but emissions still rise, forests still burn, and millions still face climate disasters. Why? Because we often rely too much on governments to save us, and not enough on ourselves and our communities. Yes, global agreements matters, but so does local action. A treaty without follow-up is just paper, but a person planting trees, riding a bike, challenging laws, teaching children, that's real change. Today, young people are striding in the streets. Scientists are sharing warnings with urgency. Artists are painting futures of hope and fear. Farmers are rebuilding soil. Cities are switching to solar. This is governance too, not with fancy titles, but with determination. And maybe there's the new model of climate leadership, one that comes from the ground up, not top down. So, as our time machine powers down, I invite you to pause, not just to reflect, but to choose. Because you are not just a passenger in the journey. You are a participant, a voter, a consumer, a friend, a voice. And the future of the planet isn't written yet. It's still unfolding right now through the choices we make. Thank you for listening. I am Hao Jiechen, and this was the Climate Accord Time Machine.